A very simple but profound learning that I've internalized over the past few years, the past 5 years specifically, is that you can't change anyone else with force. You can't ask someone to change by doing XYZ. What is up, everyone? I hope you're doing well. If you don't know me, my name is Ishan, and welcome to the video. Today I want to open up and talk about something that has been something that I've not been good at when I was younger, but as I got older and understood this concept of purpose, self-discovery, and change, I've come to learn and realize that I myself cannot force change on any other person or have the expectation that they are going to change if they do XYZ, or they should change and do XYZ. Growing up, I was always someone who loved to yap and give unsolicited advice, and I think that instinct to problem solve is something that serves me really, really well in my professional life and in my work. But that same instinct of problem solving hasn't always done me good as part of friendships or as part of relationships. I first started getting a glimpse of this in high school about 10 years ago or something. And some people or some of my friends would tell me that, I didn't ask for your advice, I didn't really ask for your opinion or whatever, and I just wanted you to listen. And from there on, I shaped this mindset of when I'm speaking to my friends, speaking to my family, I have to be considerate of why they're sharing stuff with me. Because it's very, very likely that a lot of the times people are sharing stuff because they just want to offload. They just want to kind of vent and just get that built up energy out. But they're not always necessarily looking to solve the issue. So like I said, that instinct of problem solving serves me really, really well in my professional life, but then in my personal life with relationships and friendships. Throughout this video, I'm gonna just say relationships that encompasses friendships and partner relationships or significant other relationships or even family relationships as well. So I'll just use the blanket term of relationships. And it's really hard to pinpoint if there was one specific instance that really drilled this into my mind. And I don't think it was just one or a few instances. It really was a culmination of starting high school, getting acclimated to the US culture, being exposed to different kinds of leadership trainings, workshops about how to lead teams, how to be collaborative and part of an interdisciplinary team. Along with learning about how to host workshops about hot topic issues or things that are difficult to speak about. And throughout these processes, I learned that I have to listen to understand things instead of listening to respond to things. And this is a hard learning too, listening to understand rather than to respond. But this is something I really try to live by, because the other person may not be looking for advice or for you to problem solve. And that is perfectly okay, because the truth is that you're not responsible for other people's lives. You're not responsible for other people's actions and behaviors. You're only responsible for yours. And that's literally the only thing that you can control. We can't even control our own thoughts. But what we can control is how we respond to those thoughts. And that same kind of, I think that same facet, same learning applies to any form of relationship as well. So, I'm pretty mindful of this, cognizant of this. So that's why when I'm speaking to folks in any sort of relationship, I really do try my best to listen to understand rather than just to react or respond to whatever they're saying. Partially because dude, I'm more curious to learn about their thought process because I already know what my thought process is like. I already know what, my brain is going through. But really, when you're in a conversation, you really want to ask the other person questions. You want to be curious about their thought process, of why, their nature of why they got to where they are and thinking about that situation in that certain way or something. And it's so difficult to be on self-improvement or having been on self-improvement earlier on and being around people who weren't on self-improvement or didn't have the drive to work on themselves as much. And I used to make videos for those kinds of people to be like, yo, you should get on self-improvement, it's so good, like it's changed my life, it's gonna change your life, etc. But if you've been watching any of my videos over the past year, 2 years, maybe 2.5 years, you've probably seen that my demeanor of how I portray knowledge has changed quite a bit. And that's because of this learning that I know and I fully like recognize, bro, that I can't change anyone else and I don't want to change anyone else. Really, the only person I want to change is myself because the true purpose in life for me is self-discovery. The purpose is me, and that purpose is never going to leave because the purpose is learning more about myself on a deeper level. And conversations with other people help, and in any sort of relationship, helps you do that, helps you get that self-discovery, helps you learn about their situations, their circumstances, but in those times while you're also there for the other person, you're also able to derive some learnings that you can also take in your life and implement in your life as well. And that brings me to the most important point, which is that even though you can't change anyone with force, you can change other people around you throughout the world through leading by example. And that's what I really hope to embody and live. I've thought about this, I've probably verbalized this before, but now this learning is like really sticking in. And I really wanted to share it with you. Because like I said, if you can't force change on other people, but you can inspire change in other people by just being yourself, by just being your authentic self and choosing to take the hard steps for yourself. And I'm telling you, bro, naturally that's gonna inspire other people around you to make good changes in their life as well. Now, whether those changes are gonna be exactly the same as yours or not, it doesn't fucking matter. As long as you yourself are committed to changing yourself for the better and bettering your habits and your life overall through hard work and effort and intention towards all facets of your life, I'm telling you, naturally you have this aura, you have this energy that then you just emanate and share with people without even trying. And that's so key because force is something that's like not good in any form of situation because I think force very much connects with the idea of control because you control things with some form of a force. And the control thing is really an illusion of life that we've created around us, that we're able to control our life circumstances, which to some extent that is very, very true because the habits that you do are in your control and in your choice. And simultaneously, a lot of the things in life are out of your control. I'm just thinking, like, for instance, if I'm driving and someone else hits me from the back, like, I pause. But if someone like slams into me, nothing I can do about that. If I step out, I'm taking a walk, and I I don't know why I'm thinking about this car situation, but like if I get hit by a car, it's not necessarily like in my control to like fully prevent that unless I just like don't go out. But of course, that's a dumb way to live, right? So I think you understand what I'm saying about the control thing. Some things we can control, some things we have no control in life. And I think a lot of the times as humans, we tend to focus on the things that we don't have control over and try to force control over those things. And that's exactly what I've done in my past with my friendships, with some of my relationships, where I've tried to change or incite change within the other person so they can fit this expectation or this mold that I had in my mind about that person. And that's just like a fuck thing to do. Like in hindsight, like I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm realizing like, yeah, that's not, because how would I feel if someone was doing that to me? And I know I would feel like shit because that's exactly what it's like being a brown kid in an Indian education system. Or at least it was back in that time when I was growing up. I don't know what that shit is like now. I haven't been back to India in like 10 years, 11 years. But I also got a little bit of that home as well. And then this kind of connects to conditional love. But I don't want to touch on that too much here because really the focus is once I started realizing and understanding that the change, when I'm trying to force change, it's not happening because the other person, most people, most humans are not receptive to that kind of feedback where someone is expecting them to do XYZ or to set a certain standard or to meet a certain expectation, because that's what we kind of have to do in our professional lives to an extent. And having to deal with that kind of pressure all throughout in other areas of your life, it's not something that humans enjoy. And I know that because I felt it, and that is exactly why in this current stage, in this current phase where I am in my life right now, I understand that leading by example is really the best thing that we can do as humans. So if you've been trying to change someone else around you, if you've been trying to ask someone to start a good habit, etc., consider pouring that energy into yourself. Consider asking yourself to change something for the better. I truly, if there's anything I want to leave you in this video with, it's truly that the best way to inspire change is to just be so ruthlessly authentic in your life, in your being, and how you operate, that you naturally have this energy building within you that emanates and just moves through you and around you. With that said, I will wrap the video up here. If any parts made you think about something, let me know in the comments below. I appreciate you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video. I love you.